Welcome, everybody, to the final call of the Evolution 2026 Growth Summit hosted here in Evergreen Foundations on School, which, as a lot of you know now, has spurned into the Evolution podcast. And Dinka Salvador and I are now weekly full time podcasters, which thank you to all who have been a guest, showed up to this event, watched it across all platforms. And Dinka and I are joined by our admin and one of our first ever members, Rebecca Martin, on the panel today for our final call. Super stoked in that. Check out her summit call because it was super special for us. And our last guest is super fitting. It is the guy that we started Evergreen Evolution. More about that story later. And
Yeah.
Dave Ladin, thanks for joining us, Dave.
Well, it's great to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me, allowing me to, close this wonderful journey that you've created. And I guess that's not the right word. It's not close, right? You are on the launching pad. You've created something that's just begun, right?
And
But
even
it feels
cooler
right. It
announcement at the
feels
end of
right to kind of end the cycle of the summit that was kind of sort of planned with you. It's like an alpha and omega kind of situation. So I think it's very fitting that we're doing this.
Yeah. It's been a wild ride, and it's amazing to be here. So again, thank you.
There's been such a metamorphosis in the last 2 years, and I can't wait to get into that. But I'm going to start this and invited you. If you look at the about page, it still says you own the joint, so it's not really.
Yeah. But as a speaker, and having my own platform, my own time, you didn't have your own episode, right, Brandon? Dinka didn't have her own. In fact, well, Becca had her own. So,
We might have something up our sleeve about
Yeah,
that.
don't give away any secrets yet.
oh, well, you let me know if you got something up your sleeve on that, and it's going to be the two of you. I'd like to be involved in that. So let me know.
Nice. So secrets we'll talk about later. So I'm going to start this call like I start every single call and not get out of the summit flow. And I start everyone with the same exact question: Who is David Ladin?
So, in full transparency, right, Brandon prepared me with that question, and I've watched a few episodes, so I understand the direction. And I didn't want to offer the cliche of who is David Ladin and start off with the canned response that I thought of was, okay, who is David Ladin? I am husband, father, veteran, and son. And I say those four things in order because while I was a son first, you have a daughter and you have her for life, and you have a son until he takes a wife. And in my life, my family became everything. So I'll start there. Who am I? I'm a lover, an empath, a connector of people. But more so than anything, I've become a family man. And it's been the most wild journey I could ever think of. I'm from upstate New York originally. Grew up about 90 miles north of New York City in the middle of nowhere, trailer park kid, right? And then my family moved to trailer out into the middle of the woods. And then I became a wilderness child. Product of a divorced family, grew up strong in two households. It taught me everything I wanted to know about family and where I wanted to go and where I didn't. Um, and it really gave me, as an only child growing up that way, a stranger is a friend I haven't met yet. And you'll hear me repeat that. You've probably heard me say it if you've been around me in any way.
Thousands of times.
Oh my God, thousands of times, right? And Brandon, I thought about, okay, did I want to do breath work to open this call? Did I want to ground everyone in a sense of reality and understanding who I am and where I've come? And, I am going to do one cheesy thing, and I am going to start this conversation by reading sort of, and Brandon, I'll stop after I read this because I think it's a good interlude to where Evergreen started and how it started. So for those of you who haven't been around, I'm a huge fan of Robert Frost, huge fan of reading, and a huge fan of the poem, The Road Not Taken. And as we unfold this call and you get a chance to ask me some questions about Evergreen, a chance to ask me about who I am, Think about two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black, white kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. And I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. And for those of you who might not understand the stanzas and might not understand the words right as I'm speaking them, I hope this call gives you an opportunity to understand that journey and the path and the road not taken. Thanks for the time. Thanks for the space. And I'm sure we'll unfold a lot more about who I am as we go through this call.
Yeah. Um, well, I've told this story a few times. I've been talking about it a lot lately. And um, we met here in school when I thought school was an island and was one community for a while
Seriously.
before I seen it was everything that it is. Um, we met in a community led by the mindset master Rob Dial. A lot of us on these in the summit: Hank Miner, Gabby, Jenny Spillane. We, not to spare a lot of that story, we decided after knowing each other for I think like a year, 8 months, we already went through some friendship stuff and knew each other and kind of stuck by each other as friends. And we decided we're going to start a school community. And that poem that you just read is awesome because we actually took that whole poem and we put it into AI where we were designing what we wanted this community to look like. And I don't remember how many names we
I didn't
picked.
know the spark for everything.
Yeah, that poem
You didn't
was
know
just
that?
No,
Yeah,
I'm learning
it
every
really
day.
was the foundation because Brandon and I came to understand each other in a way where it was more brotherly or
Mhm.
fatherly to son in some ways.
how hard that was to say because he doesn't want to call himself old. It's like really hard for him to say.
But no, it really was. It was the
Fair enough.
foundation because I feel like the stanzas in that poem uh, re- they go along the points of my life from
Mm.
birth to now and rebirth to now and all of those things and carnation and whatnot. So yeah, it was the foundation for it.
Okay.
So there was really a trinity, if you will, to pun intended. There was
Yes.
really a trinity of ideas. So we took the Robert Frost poem, and then it was my life, like living holistically, moving, working out, discipline, motivation, learning, like everything that I kind of brought to the table, mixed with everything that Dave brought to the table. And what AI spit out was the 5 pillars of evolution and Evergreen Foundations or Evergreen Evolution. Sorry, Evergreen Evolution, which we started at the end of August, early September 2024.
Yeah, the foundations though. I mean, those were things that while AI, you can say spit it out. But if you think about evolution, right? We started that thinking about how we had evolved, how life had evolved with us. But we realized that the things we had done in our life weren't it necessarily about evolution, but more about creating a foundation to build on to create the life that we wanted, right? And we both, in some ways, needed to rebuild that foundation. No, I mean, so while AI did help us and did spit that out, again, I don't want you to lose the comment and lose the fact that this was built on our lives.
Oh,
It
and
was
people, we had
built
like
on our
20 we had like 50 hours of work into AI spitting that out too. That wasn't just like
God.
one sentence. And we had a lot of time just figuring out what this was going to look like. And I think that was the basis of it all, right? Was we wanted it to look like we aren't super gurus, coaches, like we're not better than you. We're not all these things. We're all people living a holistic life that can help each other. And that's what we were at the basis. But we came from a training core, if you ask me, that kind of had us into still, we are coaches. We have to come up with plans. We have to structure things. We were still one foot in and one foot out, if you ask me. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Yeah, because while we were 1 foot in, there was still a feeling of the, I guess, the scarcity mentality where we were still trying to look to keep our lives afloat while trying to make sure that we could impact the lives of others at the same time. So
Yeah.
1 foot in, 1 foot out, right? Like, yeah.
And what happened is I was doing this. I don't even know. I do so many calls nowadays. I was doing a call the other day and I was kind of telling this story. And what I said is we used to have this thing where it's like, well, you look at your leaderboard and those aren't leads. Those aren't leads. Those aren't leads. Where Rebecca Martin, who is now an admin, helps me in both of my communities and does a lot of stuff for us because she wants to be a part of it and because she cares. The other not lead was Sarah Geelan, who now works with me with creating her community and is our admin. The other not lead was Melissa Parteca. She's our partner. The other, oh, that's not a lead, was Dinka Salvador. So we had the mentality of like, let's build relationships, but we still like looked at it like, well, we're not going to sell our stuff because these people aren't leads. Well, look at what happened with all those people. They became cogs in what is now a system that we're creating accidentally creating because we cared and we wanted people to connect. So in the background, we always had that. And that's why we got our star. That's why we lost our star. That's why we went through changes is in the
Mm.
background, we were always about caring for people. We were just executing poorly.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, what's crazy is think about the relationships that we've created in the places that oh, we're on 6 continents, 5 continents at least.
Six.
And 6, like, I don't know. I mean, to bring Dinka on board was, I think about the playlist and the
Oh, yeah,
music, and
that was my
feel
first
like it's
thing
been
of
lost. Hey,
yeah.
like we need to bring the playlist back and the music back, and um, that was where we sort of realized that the commonalities in people and the things we share happen in the darkest or the hardest of conversations, and then putting it all together and bringing everyone together. Hey Doc, how you doing
Come
today?
on, Sarah, now you have to join so that the
Good to
team is
see you.
Yeah, now we gotta. Yeah, Sarah, you're coming onto the panel now.
I
They
And
need the whole
and,
team.
and Doc, your weather's out here, and you need to come and get it because it's getting worse. I left the blinds open because I wanted to see how it accumulated in this call, and we're up to forecasting about 8 inches, and there ain't no way that the South can handle that. Okay, like the kids this week had no school on Monday or Tuesday. They had 2-hour delays on Wednesday through Friday. Like they're not even gonna get to go to school this week. It's gonna be crazy.
It's just another day here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just another day, right?
I know he sent me a picture of
So
how
look
much
at
snow
this.
is
I
on the
mean, look
ground, and
at
I'm
the
like,
evolution. Look at the evolution. Look at the foundation that has been created. I mean, there is a piece missing. I'm not sure where Miss Keelan is, but we know that she's here in spirit because I see her in the
she's
chat.
actually here and like she's here. She's on the live
Okay,
call. Yeah.
okay.
there.
I'm
You
here.
just have to
There
say
she
thank
is.
you. Just have
Okay,
to
there
say
she
thank and
is.
she appears.
Yeah. Oh, that's so
Say her name and she appears.
yeah. So I mean, like, and Brandon, you said that it's a system that was created accidentally. It wasn't. It was created with intention. It was created with the subconscious implanting of the things that you said you wanted in life, right? Dinka is part of this world, and she will tell you that the subconscious and the things that we wanted to happen and the things that we intentionally gave our energies to, right? You said poor execution, Brandon. It was poor execution because we just didn't come out with it. And
But
I would say that adding Dinka to our Trinity was a balance that we didn't know we needed.
yes,
Yeah, and I love it how it also happened quite organically. Like the first call that we had, the three of us together, the welcome chat. Like we talked for an hour, and I felt like we
At
could have talked
least,
for another hour, if not two. And I just felt like I found two brothers I didn't know I had, and you guys welcomed me with open arms, and you did everyone, who is now on the team. And yeah, you say that it's not planned, but even that poor execution, its redirection is protection. It happened for a reason. It didn't have to go that way so that we can all be here now. Look at this, it's so much better. It's really, this is the reason why that didn't work out. And I know that it kind of sucked then because you're trying and you're, working on something that matters to you. But then this is the reward. This is the cake for all the stuff that didn't work out then.
Yeah.
It's proof that that cliche that we always talked about of you got to go through the storm, life happens for you. Well, yeah, you're goddamn right. Life happens for you, right? Oh, am I allowed to cuss on this call? Sorry.
Sure,
It's your community.
exactly, it's your community.
Like it's one of those things where like we could all look at our lives. We could look at every moment of our lives and think, oh, well, that sucked. Did it? You taught you a lesson. You learned something. You're probably the person who you are today because of what went on. Like, you have to just understand that all that stuff we went through, brought us to where we are today. And I wouldn't trade where I am today for anything. And it's hard to believe where I am today. Damn. I'm damn near 50 years old. I've served my country. I've started a family. I've had a large corporate America presence, right? Big finance, big tech. And now business owner, right? Like multiple business owners. And happy to be here on this panel with just all of you. Like it's awesome. It's special. Really, really special.
I felt like Trump with the weave there. So I actually said that word because I knew it would trigger you and Dinka. So the execution, right? You know what's crazy about that is we actually did execute everything that's happening right now. We spoke into existence. You and I had conversations, and our idea was, what if we brought in other people with this down the road? We're not ready for it now, but down the road, where we bring in other people, bring in other coaches, bring in other wellness practitioners, and we have this, like you said, I would envision Evergreen at the time, Evolution, now Foundations. I envision it running it by itself. A lot of people involved, a lot of people like helping it move, a lot of people with a lot of offers and things to give, and it kind of runs itself. And then I was like, we got to bring in people, we got to do this. And then me, you, and Dinka, little evolution of that, down the road, talked about this idea of a farmer's market, bringing in other people that they had a little corner of the forest, as we called it, and still call it to this day. And we spoke all that into existence. We had no idea how to execute it. We had some conversations. We didn't really know what to do. Now, if you go in this community, we'll get to this, but you have a lot going on in your life. You're not really in school much anymore. You have had to pivot, and Evergreen Foundations is still open, running by itself. And we have
It's not running by itself. It has a heartbeat. No, it's not running by itself. It has a heartbeat. You said it. You said it. I'm going to interrupt you. It has a heartbeat because it has its members. It has its foundations, and that's where you're going with the marketplace, right? Is we had a vision of a place where we understood that we were all on the same journey. We all understood that we were all on the same path. We're just at different places and different points, right? And everyone has an offer that might not be great for Becca, might not be great for Melissa. Dinka might be somebody else's flavor, right? And the vision wasn't for you and I, or for us to have some place to word puke all over. It was a place for people to come together, and a place for the vision to have what she needs and what he needs and what we all needed in community, right? And at the end of the day, it's that word, it's community. So Jack, to answer your question, the old school group vision, it was always about community. It was always about the founding members. It's always about the people.
We were accidentally doing what we are now really leaning into. And I mean, if you look at Classified Saturday, there's like a ton of great offers, like free offers. I'm doing hypnotism. I'm some hypnotism with Julie Rushton because of the classified section we have in our new foundations market. So
Nice.
everything that we're doing now, we spoke into existence. We felt we're going that direction. We just didn't know what it looked like. And now, I mean, look, we have the Evolution podcast. We have this growth summit. We have 50 plus community owners personally that like come into this community to contribute and help others. And there's some awesome people on this call right now that are part of it.
Yeah.
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 So yeah. To pivot a little bit though, we'll come back to school some more.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're some people are probably like, who is David? By the way, we love your journal posts. We miss those. No
Yes.
pressure. But who is David? And we kind of answered a little bit about that. But what are you doing right now? Where are you in life outside of school?
Oh man. So where I am in life right now is a journey that began in June of 2022 when I manifested a corporate layoff. I hated my job and I told the world and the universe I hated my job repeatedly. And I think that got me to the top of the list of layoffs and reorganization structure of big tech. So where we are today can't be told without that. And that started the pathway of our relationship of Evergreen, of this foundation. But where I am today, my wife and I purchased a local business, a brick and mortar retail store where we are servicing the medical community. We sell scrubs, medical uniforms, doctors' coats, lab coats, high visibility gear for construction workers and real men who get their hands dirty. That sort of thing. Dinka's smiling. I don't get my hands dirty. I actually filed my fingernails this morning. So, where I am today is I work full time every day inside of a scrub store with my wife side by side, actually. I still maintain one coaching client that I speak to once a week. I have not taken any new clients. Believe it or not, I do check out school quite often. While my presence is not always there and felt, and I have had some difficulties keeping up with my journal posts. And for those of you interested, I did start a brand new one this year. And if you ever want to ask me about it, shoot me a message. I'm happy to talk to you about the powers and why I believe it is what it is. Uh, so that's a little long-winded, Brandon. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. I like it. Um, I'm gonna go to the thread because Sharon had some awesome questions, and I think I'll segue pretty decent. Um,
Okay.
what is the one primary thing you'd love the Evergreen members to experience?
Feeling welcome in every way. There's a piece of me that misses doing the welcome post. There's a piece of me that misses being on school and, hey, listen, here's transparency, researching the people who want to be a part of this community. Because whether every single one of you realizes it or not, you don't just let anybody in, right? Like it doesn't happen. So getting to know the faces before you even stepped foot into the community and getting to do that welcome post is actually something I kind of miss out on. So
Well, if you want to
the
do it,
thing,
our numbers are influx these days. You can vet all the people in the request folder that you want, buddy.
so the one thing I would like everyone to experience, Sharon, and from what I understand, without even meeting you, without speaking to you, the impact that you have had on the lives of the folks in this community, both Dinka and Brandon specifically, um, your presence is already felt and you experienced exactly what I personally want this place to be. And that is a place of welcome. And here's a funny story. And Sharon, I think maybe you'll appreciate this. So growing up, my favorite TV show was Cheers because I could watch 2 episodes of Cheers every day. And Dinka, do you know what Cheers is? No? Okay. So Cheers was a sitcom about a bar, and it was
Mm.
about a former baseball player who was a bartender, and he was a man of the people. And the song that played was, "You wanted to find a place where everybody knew your name. I want everybody to know everybody's name."
Yeah, I think that energetic imprint is all over our community, and
Yeah,
you
it
know,
really is.
as Jack always gives the analogy of a community being a barbecue, you're definitely a very cool host to the barbecue. Like you really want to make sure that everybody gets along and they feel
Yeah.
welcome. And even though you're not in the community as much as you would like to, but you guys created the culture. You have set the boundaries and you created this container for everybody to have fun. And as you said, even though you're not here every single day or not to that extent as you used to be, the energy of it is still felt. So people feel that from you and from all of us that it's okay, you are welcome and you can express yourself and ask questions
Yeah.
and be confused and be upset or whatever. It's we are humans, we are pack animals, we are here to connect. So thank you for having that intention for Evergreen, because it's still felt.
Thanks for carrying the torch. You know?
I
Yeah.
I love what
Cheers.
you
There you go, Sarah Keelan. You know, cheers.
I love what you said there though, because you used to tell me this a lot because you know a lot about probably more than anybody who knows about my
Careful.
mind. But you used to always tell me that you are the product of the 5 people you surround yourself with. And I was kind of like stuck in this small town, Midwest Wisconsin vibe where everyone's kind of got a lot of the same gumption for growth in life and nothing against that. But a lot of people get stuck in their own lanes in the
Good
Midwest.
way to put it, though. Gumption for growth. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that should say it all. The way I said that. Um,
Yes.
But now I look at like the 5 people I surround myself with, right? Like, look at you 3 alone. Then Becca, she's showing up for herself every single day. She's probably grounded, worked out, meditated, journaled, and it's 10 o'clock in the morning. So, like,
The dedication from that girl is so admirable. It's not even fun.
exactly. And then I have like I'm working with all kinds of amazing people, right? Like this podcast, like the people you surround yourself with alone. This is I told you this morning, I think. I texted you and I was like, we
Yeah.
were joking with each other, and I texted you and said, don't be nervous. And plus, you're last. Me and Dinka had 0 hours of podcast experience January 1st. Now we have like 45. So like we're getting the hang of this a little bit. And we would have um, so to get back on track, I don't even know where my track was there, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean,
Where were you
but
going, buddy?
now I see where I'm surrounding myself with people like Sharon and Jack has changed our game. Chris Martins and I get together a lot. Dr. Melissa and Hyde, we get together quite often on calls and that. And those are it's like, man, these people push me. These people, I want to learn everything from them. So what we've envisioned of like just getting this like melting pot of people together that like with skill sharing is happening tenfold. And I've learned so much from this event. Go back and watch any of our calls if you're bored. Or like I learned on like any of them or every single one of them. And to think back on the journey of that has been pretty cool from where we came to now. So when you're in lurking in the community, what do you feel or see from where we were 2 years ago, almost 18 months ago? We had actually this time of year, we had Evergreen Foundations, our second community back before the premium tiers, back when we had $200 premium communities, a free and a premium. What do you see? Like, what's the difference? Like, you come in, you see the leaderboard, you see the people sharing. What are you feeling?
I feel like it's I don't want this to sound the wrong way, but I feel like it's become a place of energy. I feel like it's become a battery, if you will, that can power. I feel like it's become a fuel cell. And I'm not going to say that it wasn't before, right? Let's, but it has evolved in a way where it is no longer woe is me and I can't get out of my own way to a place where, Brandon, you are filling people's lives with energy and value in ways where, holy crap, we could have never done just the 2 of us.
Oh no,
We could have
no, it's a
never done
bunch of
the
sparks.
3 of us.
Yeah,
Like, to be able to have the knowledge, the know-how, the expertise, the PhDs, the holy crap. It's amazing. Like So every time I come in and I see a new person meditating with Deepak Chopra or like
Mark
I'm just
Lawrence.
okay. I'm blown away by the things that I've seen inside the community, and that to me, the way I would describe it is it's become a battery. It's become a place where it's energetic and it feeds, it fuels.
And I think it's because we really just said, you know what? We gotta just highlight people. And it started this everything that we're doing today, like I was thinking this earlier. We started this by saying, "Hey, let's bring in guests from other communities." So earlier when I said the execution part, I was completely wrong with that because we were executing all along. We were bringing
Sure.
in guests once a month, and it was working, and we had this energy about us, and we did onboarding calls, and the first 3 onboarding calls we had were Sarah, Dinka, and Melissa, and now they're all a huge part of our team because we connected with those people. So everything we're doing now, the connection, all of that, we were doing then. I just grew to a new scale because Dinka I decided to be nuts and do it every single day for 32 days in a row for 90 minutes. I think it's the big one. And we just said, let's highlight as
But
much
it's you though. Like you don't understand though. Like it's not chaos, right?
no.
What's
No,
what's the what's the biggest thing I always told you and always tried to harness in you? And I think that you got the ability to spread your wings the more I had to sort of step away. And you have elevated this in a way where, bro, you are the heartbeat now of this, right? I always told you to slow the down. Okay.
now it's become my
It's your
brand.
gift. It's your gift. It's not right.
And now I'm the tornado. Do you ever remember times when I told you to take the governors off of me?
Yes, yes,
Hey,
exactly.
that's what this looks like.
I was the governor.
I'm gonna go back to Sharon's question so I don't forget. We'll finish those off.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna throw it over to Dinka. Um,
okay.
what do we got? So, what are your personal action commitments inside Evergreen Foundations?
My personal action commitments? Wow.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Well, I do so okay, so I do check my personal chat. I do check my personal chat every single day. I do have notifications turned on every single day. I would say that my door is open to any community member at any single time. I'm still journaling every day, okay? And I do believe that it is one of the most powerful things that you could do in your life. So while I might not find the time to post my journal, it is structured and it is built. My personal action commitments, if anyone ever needs me, I'm here. What happened? Where did everybody go?
I have no idea where did everybody go. I'm still here, so we are
Still
still
here,
on.
and that's all that matters. And I'm still here, and we're good with
Exactly.
that. Do you have a theme for this year or a family slogan? Um, I think about that, and I think we'd ever have a family slogan. But now that actually, oh, here's something interesting. Brandon and I, over the course of the last few years, really encouraged folks to do a lot of things. One of the things that we've encouraged people to do, and an individual on our team, we've challenged greatly with this question, and that is to live by your values, to understand what your values are. And I think your question sort of leads me to bring that up because my core values is, and my main core value is integrity first. My integrity will walk through a door before I do. I am who I am. I am what I am. I am as authentic as I can be. You love me or fucking loathe me. I'm gonna show up just like this guy right here, talking to you, or my wife, or my children. That's number one. So, from an integrity first standpoint, Ladins don't lie. That's not an adopted slogan. It's not a communicated slogan, but it is something that I have repeated to my children. Now, my daughter is almost 19, my son is almost 16. They're both bad liars, horrible liars, because we've just always taught them that no matter what, authenticity is how you should show up. Uh, we have the running joke that between my daughter and I, social anxiety should fear us. because we because we give zero about what other people think about us. We are authentic and just show up as who we are. So from a theme or a family slogan, nobody's ever asked me that. That's a really interesting question, Sarah, Sharon. And I'd love to understand maybe the context behind it, maybe where you were going with that. Maybe that's something for a one-on-one potentially down the road. But yeah, interesting
Get her up.
question.
She's awesome.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, Sharon's amazing. She's a connection through this process that I've enjoyed a lot. Dinka, you kind of came in when we had things going on. Like we had I think we had a nutrition challenge, so that's like where you really jumped in. We were sharing
Ooh,
food, and you were sharing pictures of octopus and stuff that us American people like don't eat.
ooh,
Yeah, the
Horse.
Hungarian horse eater. I remember that ruffled some feathers.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Close to my first week.
um, because you jumped in, you actually, like you've said this before, I think on the podcast, where you jumped in and you got to see how school was, and you were an admin, and you were kind of like we were having meetings, we were kind of trying to like figure stuff out. But from that point to where we are now, what have you seen this evolve into?
I mean, it's such a crazy journey, and as you said, I didn't even, I wasn't even here from the very beginning. So, for example, for me, I see Becca's incredible evolution, but even for me, it's already wow. But I haven't even seen the very start of it, and it's the
Yeah,
same with the community. It was much smaller, and I kind of made myself known by going to town on the Evergreen, the Sound of the
Sound of the
Forest
forest.
thread.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think I commented every single comment and every single video, and I made a Spotify playlist. And because I'm passionate about music, and
yeah,
then it didn't take much longer for you guys to kind of invite me on board as an admin, and it was just kind of super organic. And I never really thought about more than that. Like I didn't have the idea or the urge to start my own community. I think we even started about this. Like, yeah, no, I don't think so. And it's really cool. And, I also didn't know the platform very well. So you guys also taught me a lot about, how to vet new members and all of that stuff. And it was just fun. I just kept showing up because it was fun. And yeah, look at me now. Like I have my own community as well. I always say this that was my schooling. All that you gave me in Evergreen, I didn't have to make those mistakes in my own community, and I didn't even know that I wanted one. I was just being prepped for this, and when the time came, like, oh, okay, I actually do feel like starting something for myself. I didn't have to go through all those hoops and all those, learning curve. And I mean, we're still figuring it out. School is changing, everything's changing. It's a dynamic platform. So I'm not by any means claiming to be an expert, but it was very formative for me. And yeah, now I have two brothers. So it's just, I actually do it because of the people. It's not
yeah,
necessarily for
100%.
anything else than that. And we have been through a lot of things with the community. We are involved in each other's lives personally. We know things about each other and cheer each other on, or they sometimes pick fights with each other. That's also part of being like,
Yeah,
but we butted heads for sure with Brandon. We had certain moments when it was like, "Hey, calm down," and but that's what you do. You work through stuff because you care about the people. We didn't just say like, "Oh, okay, fuck off," and but we worked it out. And I always say this, that just this summit, what you were saying, Dave, that we just spent every single day 90 minutes talking to each other, that did something amazing for our relationship with Brandon. So if that's the only good thing that came out of the summit, which is actually not, for that alone, it was already worth it. So it's about people. It's about hanging out with people that you like. So that's my take on all of
It's
this.
it really is
hold on.
interesting.
I have a thought. I want to say something because Dinka said it is she thinks about the mistakes she doesn't have to make in her community, and I think about foundations. It's the sharing of the learning moments, because I don't believe in mistakes, right? Life happens for us. They aren't mistakes. They're choices you make.
Fail forwards.
Right. You fail forward. Right. And damn, if I don't want to start being, I don't want to word puke all these things, right? But for those of you who have been around a long time, you know I'm a huge fan of acronyms, right? And we keep using this word fail forward and failure and not have to make mistakes, but they're learning moments, and their fail is first attempt in learning. Okay. You cannot learn what to do if you don't have a moment where there is growth that is necessary, like right into the life of a scrub store owner. Okay. Every single day, I fail forward. I order something wrong in inventory and my supplier doesn't take it back. I have a customer who, gets a bad piece of like clothing. Like there are things that I learn and I fail every day. And the reality is yeah, fail forward, right? Fail forward every single day. And it's that road not taken. It's the path that you have to choose. You're never going to go back to that spot where you had to choose again. And man, I'm not going to get off my soapbox for a minute. So
Keep going. It's your episode.
some people, a lot of people along this journey have asked me, where was a moment that you could say that your transformation really took a turn? And I would tell you that I've always been a big fan of Marvel movies, right? And people have always asked me in life, and if you're a comic guy or you believe you like Marvels, people always ask you, what superpower would you want to have? Right? Dinka, if I asked you right now and you had to choose, what superpower would you want to have?
God.
Do you want to fly? Do you want
to teleport where my loved ones are?
There you go. Okay, so great. So do you and then I people would ask you and I'd say, oh, do you know that you have a superpower? And people go, no. Go, yeah, you can change time. You are Doctor Strange. And people go, what? Go, yeah, you are Doctor Strange. We are all Doctor Strange because we all have the power of choice. And that's the moment where my transformation took a step in a different direction. And with Brandon, with our relationship, we realized we were going through these things in our lives and the moments, and we took the power of choice to do hard things because we knew that if we didn't choose to do hard things, when life chooses to do something hard for you, you lose. If you choose to do something hard all the time, and you realize that you have that superpower of choice. We're all Doctor Strange. We can all create our own timelines. We all look at what we have created here and what we have done together.
Don't
This
worry, you're
wasn't
only Doctor Strange and Goosify, Melissa. Sorry.
I don't get it. Okay.
Inside joke, you won't.
Okay.
I call Dr. Melissa and hide because sometimes in fun communities, she'll let her hair down a little bit and put out gifts, and I'll go, oh, what did she just do? And that's her
okay.
hindsight.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what her rank is, but she can't always be that rank, right? You gotta take the BDU top off and walk away from it on occasion. I don't even think they call it a BDU anymore. I don't even know what they call it. See, there's my old school military 27 years ago. Can you believe that? Believe that? I went into the military 28 years ago, Doc. How many years have you served?
I'm at 25 so far.
Dang. Thank you. I
I've worked for
separated it.
CW, so I'm not.
Thank you for your service. That's amazing. So anyway, I got on my soapbox, Brandon, and now you're, talking about the power of choice, talking about, the decisions we make and the choices that
brought up a lot of stuff for me just in our journey. And I think even the power of choice is what I've learned from where we are now and like what's happening in this past month and the experiences we've had is, and Dinko even brought this up with, I was trying to create and force and make things happen to make this work. So I would get passionate about ideas. I'm like, just listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. And when we stopped forcing things and we chose to kind of, I think I really chose to take a step back and was like, okay, I got to figure some stuff out. You started to get busier. And then when we came back and we're like, you know what? We had Evergreen Evolution. We had the second paid community, Evergreen Foundations. I was like, we need to close that down. They have now they have new tiers. The tiers were just about to launch. I was like, let's close it down. And we just became Evergreen Foundations. In a month, at that point in time, we were ranked 533rd in self-improvement. I was showing up in like one thread a day, like kind of like just like trying to keep things going. You were really busy. Dinka was starting Trinity Code, and we were ranked 533rd. I came to you guys and was like, hey, let's change the name back to Foundations. Let's just let people come in, help us be guides. Like, we're not going to be coaches. We're going to be guides. We're living our lifestyle too. And everybody can uniquely live their lifestyle. And we'll just share that together. And that little switch of not forcing stuff, now I can create and build upon things that just created themselves. I tried to force a podcast a year and a half ago. Never happened. Now I have a
Yeah.
podcast. We tried to force premium tiers probably a dozen times since we started this, and nothing happened. Now I launched 4 premium tiers that have like a dozen of members in between 2 communities. Better Brain Project has a ton of members, and like we have like 15, 5 paid in our premium community, and Foundations has people that are working together, working on things because we didn't force it. And I think your soapbox really brought that up for me is once we just became each other and accepted each other and said, you do this, you do that. And obviously your role is different because now you're busy in real life, but that doesn't mean I don't text you every single day. And
Every
you know
day.
what? Sometimes
Hey,
you can't respond because you're too busy, but you will talk to me through, you'll love it or you'll thumbs up it or you'll thumbs down it, or you'll talk to me by emojis reacting to my messages. So you're always a part of it. Everything. I'll
always.
see everything going on. Hey, we just launched this. Dinka and I just talked about this. And you won't respond, but you'll be like, yep, good, sounds great. And I know you're on our same page. I know you creep and lurk. But so really, you're still a part of this.
Question. The foundation of everything you do is authenticity and communication. If you are not communicating authentically, then you're lying to yourself and you're lying to everybody else. If you're not authentic, then you're not communicating the right message. So they go hand in hand. They have to go hand in hand. And I know Brandon, I know I haven't met Jack, but Jack has had a great and wonderful positive impact on you. I think he's on this call.
He
And
was. He's back and forth.
okay, so but like the communication skills that we have developed in this community amongst our team and amongst the members and the open door policy of what Foundations represents and is, I think is the building block. I don't think actually, I know is the building block to consistency and to building with intention.
Yeah.
And nobody really understands that more than you, because I don't think that people we won't go into the stories, but Dinka gently brought it up earlier. Man, we are brother and sisters, and I'm an only child. Let's just put that out there right now. So I don't fight well. I get sensitive and I like to go hide in a corner. But the three of us, we've definitely disagreed. We've definitely disagreed on calls. Brandon and I have had our moments. There have been a hang up or two in life. So don't think that the emotional piece of building a community is absent, right? We'll sit here and we'll pound our hippie drum and we'll go sit on our meditation pillow. But the reality is that you have to embrace the difficult, and I'll steal David Goggins. You got to embrace the suck sometimes. And the suck sometimes is the authenticity and the communication.
Yeah, and also just letting everyone lean into their strengths, like
Yeah.
we are not going to ask Brandon to organize stuff.
Alicia doesn't either.
And I'm not throwing shade at you. There's so much that you
No.
are incredibly good at. You have this crazy energy and this bottomless pit of ideas, basically, because
Pretty much.
the rate that you come up with stuff is it's hard to follow, honestly. And so once we embrace that, instead of trying to cut it or limit it, this is what happens. And I'm not saying that all of your ideas are pearls. I don't think that's possible, but there are some great ones, and we have to embrace you for that, and
Yes.
and I maybe have other strengths. I tend to be maybe on the more organized side, and that's also necessary, when it comes to, I think that was a very important part of the summit, that it had
It is.
some sort of a structure.
Not to interrupt, but to interrupt, and to a serial interrupter. Everybody that knows me knows. But
Yeah.
Dave, would YouTube and Pinterest and um, Spotify and Apple Podcasts look like it looks right now if it was me instead of Dinka? Exactly. We all lean into our strengths.
Oh, buddy, like you are great at a lot of things. Okay. To Dinka's point, you use the corporate phrase of drinking from the fire hose, because
Yeah.
the fire hose is the endless wealth of information and things that people are just pumping
Yeah.
into you. Well, Brandon, you are the fire hose.
Oh, yeah.
The endless amount of energy and ideas and things that come out of your brain, man, I can't even catch half of
So is Dinka the
it.
firefighter then? Like trying to hold the hose? I almost fell off my pants.
I like the storm chaser actually.
I
I
was
really
I was
like that
I was
too.
I was like, I wanna I yeah. Yeah. Dinka is the airbender. So
Um,
I wanna stop for a minute. I wanna thank Becca for being a part of this community from the very beginning.
like since day one.
Day one, moment one. Like from Brandon's first social media Zoom call, where I think Becca was a black screen with her name, to today. Holy shit, Becca! Like you are the strongest young woman that I have I don't can't even match your dedication. I can't match your level of I'm gonna do this and nobody's gonna stop. And I just want to applaud you and I want to give you all the credit that you deserve, because nobody did that in life without you choosing to do it. Nobody did it for you. You did all that. So I really just wanted to take a moment and make sure that you get recognized for the credit that you deserve yourself, because I couldn't be more proud of you, as if like you were one of my own kids. So
Mhm.
super happy and super proud to see you on this call.
And she had her own podcast episode. Did we see that?
No, I haven't watched it yet, so don't
There
do it.
weren't long silences, or we didn't have to coach her through, like feeling emotional or not wanting to put her camera on. She was just speaking like any other guest on this podcast. I love that evolution as well, like I even remember the first couple of calls, Rebecca was just like really shy and like not sure if she wanted to put on her camera, and look at her now. So that's really so inspiring to see for anyone who thinks that they cannot do it. Just look at her.
Oh my god.
I called Dave and I said, Becca just sounded like a mentor. She's gonna have a community someday. Dave goes,
Yeah.
get out of here.
Oh
Becca's
yeah.
not gonna want to run a community. And I was like, watch. You're gonna
Oh,
learn
yeah.
a lot.
Becca will have her own. She'll be on the TED stage someday.
Oh yeah.
And that brings me into everything we've done, the three of us, and then the four of us, and then I'm just gonna stop counting because now Sarah, Alicia's a part of it, Rebecca, like we have, and then every other member that shows up, posts threads, supports each other, the conversations alone that I'm witnessing while I'm going through in my little Pomodoro technique time where I go through all comments in February in our community. I just go, wow, like the things that are happening around here is all because we just stuck to really the same ethos and we stuck to wanting to do something for other people and now watching other people show up for each other. It's how I now work with community owners. Like for Tornado Power and everything we're doing, it starts with Becca. If you start with an amazing free offer that you get little wins, you get someone showing up on camera and then defeating a little bit of anxiety and then going, well, I'm really a shy person. And me and Dave going, Becca, you're on 20 calls this week. You're not a shy person. And then we're going, you know what? I'm not a shy
No,
person. Well,
no.
we solved that little win just by showing up and opening up a call. That's all we did.
No more S word. No more S word,
Yeah,
Becca.
no more S word. A free call. That's all we did. So if your free offer can get results, now Becca is in she's in my premium and better brain. She shows up to stuff. She's doing things up our ladders because our free offer meant something. And that's what it always was. That's why we stayed when we had the star back in the nutrition challenge and Dinka posting on our Sons of the Forest every day and we got our star. And then we lost our star and we didn't get it back for months. And then we went through a dip of rebranding and we went to 533. Now we're 13th in self improvement, 13, 14, and we are like 90 something in the world, top 100 in the world. And looking at that journey of just because we showed up for people, because Becca showed up every day posting her workouts and saying, I'm doing this and I'm improving in this way. Because our free offer got results, now we have offers people are paying. And that means a lot to me. And that's something I'm really in my cross pollination efforts with other communities, in Tornado Power, in working with communities, in the little bits I put in the schoolyard and stuff. With every community owner I come across, have your free offer be something that's freaking amazing because then they're going to want more. And that's what I learned from these last 2 years. And it's because of Becca and because of Boston.
But my corporate PTSD, inside my because I worked for American Express for almost a decade, right? And one of the first things I learned, and I'm gonna call you on this. It's for those of you taking notes for sales techniques, stop using the word free. Freaking hate that word. It makes it sound cheap.
Well,
Your offer, while it might not involve the exchange of funds, is far from cheap and far from,
yeah. And that's
because
what
it's an
community.
hold on. It's an investment that you give others. It's the most valuable thing that you possess in your entire life, and that is time. So while your value to others is free, it's not, it's complementary. It's
Mhm.
complementary as part of the relationship that you build with somebody else. So I would encourage you that while you're trying to build your communities and while you're trying to put your offers out there, change the way you think about your offer inside your own mind and stop thinking about it as being free. Because when you think about something free, you don't give the same amount of effort to everybody else. And Brandon, what you have heard me say this 100 times, and I know I know you're just using words, okay? But what you give to people is far from free. It's more valuable than anything. So it's complementary with the relationship that people have with you, because you invest yourself into others in ways that people just don't understand.
When
Right?
we were building this, how many hundreds of hours of conversations have we had that went just like that?
Oh my God. Endless.
But I love it that you guys coached each other through the beginning of the
Yeah.
community,
But
because
you coached us too, Dinka. I mean, like,
well, not on purpose. We were just kind of
well,
like
yeah,
brainstorming or like bouncing ideas off of each other. But I think that also was unwillingly or not knowing, like it was kind of our schooling as well. We were working with each other as clients, so to say. And
yeah,
what it comes down to, because we're talking about community and the building blocks of community are human
yeah.
beings, it's about caring. You cannot put a price tag on caring, and Brandon, you're a serial carer, and Dave, you too, and that shows. And this is also something that I think Jack also says a lot, that just make your free offer or complimentary offer so
Ah,
good that people will start to wonder, like, holy crap, what if I paid this person?
yeah,
How good
yeah.
would that be,
Yeah,
and
that's
because
where it
we
all goes
actually
under.
care about the people, you really just check in with them, like, hey, I know you're moving, is everything okay? Are you taking care of yourself? And doesn't cost you anything other than your time. There are countless examples of that in our community, that people just check in with each other, and that somebody's going through a hard time and you show up for them, and then we cheer each other up, and it's not difficult, it's not reinventing the wheel, it's showing up for people. And sadly, today's world, when we are all so connected, that's the one piece that is missing, and people don't get that in real life. So we actually are here in a community that is digital, but then I feel connected to many of you here than a lot of people that I know face to face, because we just hang out and we support each other and we care about each other, and that's pretty awesome.
If
I
if
saw.
I get nothing
I read
else,
a. I read a
no,
quote the other day. I want to get this out. It said that as humans, we want to be loved, we want to be understood, and we want to be comforted. That's 3 of our main desires in life. But if we showed love, if we gave comfort, and we gave understanding, then everybody would have everything they needed in their life. And showing up for everyone in the community and showing up for each other, that's what you're speaking about, Dinka.
And then in return, I also just had a mini meltdown the other day because, I mean, this whole summit situation is no walk in the park. I'll tell you that. And my community or the community also showed up for me. I was like, okay, guys, I'm just gonna chill because otherwise I'll explode. And I got like a bucket loads of love, and Iris sent me Reiki energy because she's an angel and she just wanted me to feel better. And then there are so many other examples of like, people just genuinely caring and telling me to chill the fuck out. So it also comes back to you tenfold. So it's a no-brainer. Like it's a no-brainer.
I see so many people, Dave, and we started this, like, we literally have a random school for Facebook community that I just bomb with links, and a couple other people are in that bomb with links, and it has 0 engagement, and it just keeps growing because I keep posting stuff on Facebook, so my following grows, and then I invite people to it. We have
Talking
like
about a journey and a purpose?
yeah, we have 800 people in it. I've never talked to a
Really?
yeah, it's me and Jim
Oh,
Blake. I barely talk to him, but we have 800 people now. And the point is, I will never go back to storming on social media to find a client through a comment and then talk to him for like a little bit of a time and then try to, hey, you should work with me. Like I get to work with people that are like my best friends now, that I care about. That like I had a 20-year-old kid, Jack, that we talked about him, take a chance on a 40-year-old guy, and we're becoming like best friends, like brothers. Like we work together like 2 little friggin', I don't know. Dinka knows more about it than I do.
Yeah, you have a total bromance going on between
Oh,
the two.
yeah. Our idea machine, I spit the ideas out and then Jack can like do stuff with them, and it's crazy. And that's what's happening. You get to work with people that you care about. People can solve problems for me. So I go into their communities and I go into their premiums, and I'm meditating with Mark Lawrence, as you know, not an easy task to get me to do. Um, I, I'm learning about all sorts of stuff from all the people that I've in my life now, because of connections, because we grew with people, not because I was like, hey, I can solve this problem. Let's talk for 15 minutes and you're gonna give me money and I'm gonna run a business. Yes, that works for me. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. I need to, that's why it's taken me 3 years to do this. We're to a point where I can now go, "Oh, I have systems in place, I have things in place, I have networks, I have connections." When people go, hey, join my program and in 30 days you're gonna make 10K a month, I'm gonna tell you right now, that's complete bullshit. You won't. But I will also tell you, if you do something like that and learn what your industry, your niche, your thing is over time and you never give up, you'll do it. But you won't do it in 30 days.
Yeah.
Makes me think of Atomic Habits. You do not succeed to your level of effort. You fail to your level of systems. Actually, you do not succeed to your level of your goals. You fail to the level of your systems. And Brandon, what we've developed is a level of systems and repetition and intention and things that you can help others lay the foundation.
Yeah. And some people can do it in 30 days, right? Like some people have sales skills, and you're like, that was
Yeah.
not my thing. I had the serial carrying, the doing things for people. And that was what I leaned on. And what I've learned is you don't need to create an offer and become a massive salesman in any of this school game. You need to show up for people, and you need to um, have your offers will show you themselves.
You need to show up for yourself
Yes.
before you can show up for other people. And in the beginning, when we started Evolution, we were showing up for ourselves every day. We needed evolution. We needed to pour the things out of us into it in order to make it what it is, right? And when you're building community, most of the time you started it because you needed to show up for yourself.
Yeah, that's a great point.
You started it because there was something inside of you you wanted to transform. You wanted to help others with.
When you become a member of your community, like we are,
Correct.
Dinka and me and Melissa and you were members of our community. We live the Foundations lifestyle. We work on our mindset. We work on our bodies. We work on everything that we have as the pillars, right? But we have areas that are we have to focus on, areas we stumble in, we fail forward, we learn, we
Yeah.
make mistakes. And I think that is what's always kept this community super viable. And what I do now, even in my niche community, I have to show up in Better Brain Project. So doing the things through there make me better. Like because we're doing things, routines, we're doing dopamine detoxes. I haven't doom scrolled Facebook now in like 8 days at all, no reels, because of that community. Because I'm showing up as a member, not an owner, not, hey, everybody do this. And then I'm going to sit back here, but like I'm a member of it. And I think, so that's a good point. When you become a member
Yeah.
of your
I
community,
think you can also testify to this, Brandon, because you're like on a gazillion calls every single day. When you have a mastermind, when you have a pool of people who just show up with the a similar intention and with the energy of like, hey, I want to get better at this, and we just bounce each other ideas of each other, everybody learns something. It doesn't matter that you're the owner of the community and you're running the mastermind. Everybody learns something. I've seen this so many times. Sometimes Jack would, open a call and then he would just go to school and then we're all there. And he's like, oh my God, what did I miss? What did I miss? Because there's constantly this brainstorming happening and everybody wins, And so it's not about you teaching everyone. I am truly a believer of every single human being on this planet has an area of expertise or has a gift or has a
Yeah.
story that will help another person. You just have to kind of look for it, but it's there. So everybody has value. And if you just create a container, if you just invite people, like, let's stick to the yard method. Hey, this is my yard and just come in and we're having a barbecue and, and what are you about? And then you make them comfortable and then you kind of just allow them to speak a little bit about themselves. Everybody has some cool story, and that's really my favorite thing, that you never know what you're going to get on a call. That's why it's so exciting, because it's never the same. It's never a lesson. It's like fireworks. You never know.
the masterminds and small groups, is what makes school special. It's the new era of school. 2 weeks, like I've been working for the schoolyard and going to his masterminds, and we've had the tornado power core focus group the last 2 weeks. And in that 2 weeks, the things that I've discussed, like light bulb moments, people going, oh, that's great, but we could try this or do that. The things that happen in those calls have leveled me up in school in 2 weeks. Like I go back and I go back and do things. And it's like one thing I work on in my community. It's like, oh, one tweak, or even to take Jack's more ethos from Jack is even deleting something. Like, you know what? My community doesn't need that category or that course I can take something out. And it's like, oh, that improved things. Like the little things that you get from masterminds is amazing. It really
Wait,
is.
it's only been 2 weeks that you are working together? Oh my God, January feels like
That's 2 weeks.
it's like 84 days in January or something. It's
I
really
know it has been a long month. And that's like Dave said, connections, right? That every summit call has changed this community. Every summit call has changed the community of the owner on it. But every single time that we go 90 minutes and we talk to somebody, someone listens to that story or someone finds it on YouTube or we just promote it. And like something happens every time, an energy, a skill share, a connection. And that's the coolest part of all of this. And our crew calls afterwards. Me and Dinka are getting
Oh,
really
yeah.
close to this thing. Me and Dinka jump on
It's
this secret call.
in this call, we have had an open conversation. And just so everybody knows, there was no prep. There was no, setup of, organization in any way. There was no, hey, what are we going to talk about? There was text messages back and forth in the last 24 hours of, hey, what am I going to talk about? Right. And it was like, okay, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Right. But we could not have framed or planned a conversation that spoke to our foundational pillars in a way that we did today in any other way. Like Brandon, think back to trying to record our calls and our scripts and our teleprompters. Okay. Right. Like, okay. So, but you talk about mindset mastery. You talk about the things that you do in your life to control your mind and the journaling and the things that you live with intention. And then the body vitality of keeping yourself well in your mind and your physical being and lifelong learning and constantly growing and absorbing and reading and podcasts. And then the connection and the contributions that you talk about, the complementary benefits of giving people part of your life and the connections you make, all comes together in a purposeful life. We could not have tried to script the Foundation's lifestyle and presenting it to anyone in any way than we did just living it on this call.
Yeah. Yeah. Man,
This is our life. This is what this is our life. I just talk like a Southerner. This is my life. What the hell was that? Sorry.
And this is pretty much how it happened in almost on every single podcast episode. We had like the framework of opening question, like finishing, a little ritual, and that's like 5 minutes of the call, and everything else between is like free flow. And so many of the calls, like the way that it was just the ideas and the topics that came up, it was just spot on. And yeah, there's no need. I mean, I'm the systems girl, so I'm actually talking against myself, but you cannot try and control everything, because then you miss out on the magic. You just have to allow the space for the cool stuff to happen. And for sure, we had systems around the podcast, like the scheduling, and then all the back end stuff, and communication with the speakers and with each other. But the spine of it, the magic of it happened in the totally unscripted and unplanned space. So I think it's again about balance, having a bit of both and knowing when to lean into which that's the sweet spot.
For me, Dave, you say like you appreciate me and all that, but I felt connected with you guys. I felt the support, and that's how I was able to connect with you guys. And I knew that it really helped me with my mental health, and just knowing that I could text you guys or just message you guys, and you guys would just support me or encourage me to do it. And that's what pushed me to do it.
Of course, Becca.
Yeah. Becca, we're a text message away. Always have been. And and I would say that we always have been, because you've always been there on the other side. You have never been the person to come to us and say something and be unwilling to listen or implement.
Yeah.
Okay. In this journey, and even in community building, Brandon and Dinka and I can tell you, without implementation, it's like in one ear and out the other. You're wasting your time, wasting my time. Right? Like you, Becca, you were a person who showed up, you asked a question, and you went, okay, all right, yep, let's go. We're going to do that. And there was no excuse. There was no irrational thought. You just went and did it because you chose to. You were like, hey, I'm going to be here. Like, let's go. So, yeah.
That's why you're special agent Becca, CIA, continuous imperfect action. That's a very admirable personality trait or skill to have, Becca, what you have, and that's why we call you the GOAT, the consistency queen, or whatever nicknames you have.
Yeah.
You just show up no matter what. No excuse. No, I don't feel like it. No, oh, it's cold outside, because then she has the treadmill, So there's no way that you're just not gonna do it. And because of that, this is the very engine of this community. You showing up every single day. So yeah, that's really why you are here on this call also.
I bet you. And I know that she's in the call because I can see her on the call. But I bet you that if Karen Falkenberg could bottle what's inside of Becca and give it to every single one of her clients,
oh yeah,
it would be a different world of trying to teach people the physical fitness and the commitment and the mental commitment of what it means to change your life. I mean, yeah. Yeah. It's crazy to think about.
This has been really awesome, and we could probably, I know you're super busy. We could probably go for 4 or 5 hours on this last one. But where do you see the next year going for you, Dave?
It's a really interesting question, right? I think in the next year, there's an evolution of both my personal life and my, say, entrepreneurial or business life. Because in a sense where I haven't even brought up the term MIP tags, haven't even talked
Yeah.
about the fact that I'm a technology consultant and have a product and a patent on something that we could talk for another 2 hours. Right. So I think there are a lot of things in my life that will evolve over the next year. More than anything, I have committed, and I guess I didn't think about this earlier when Sharon asked the question. Um, Presence is a word that has, and I've committed to being present in something that so different, but yet so not different. My family, in my lifetime, I had a landscaping business myself from 10 to 13 years old that I ran. I came from a long line of cards and collectibles shop, a video store, an aquarium store, and custom pond installation. My dad was a general contractor. We owned multiple pizzerias at the same time, a breakfast and lunch only cafe. I was an assistant general manager for PF Chang's. I worked for Benihana for 10 years. Like, I have run the gamut of things in my life. Air Force, car sales, you name it. All of those things this year have sort of put me on a new path, right? The road not taken. So for me, I think things change, but they stay the same, if that makes sense.
It does.
I look forward to being just as much a lurking and creepy member of Foundations as I can,
Don't
being
do
a
that.
part of
Close friends.
being a part of a leadership team that I think is some of the most amazing people I've met in my entire life. At some point, my God, I cannot wait to share physical space with the two of you. I'll just say that, okay?
Cool. All of us. We're going to
All of
Melissa.
us. We're going to Melissa's place to hang out around the
Yeah.
fire.
You think of my mother told me yesterday
Might
that
be
in
50 of them.
2026, in 2026, Dinka, my mother told me she's gonna be in Lisbon 3 times, and I'm like, seriously? Like, uh,
We'll make it
so
happen.
like,
It's just a matter of
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So
So
we're gonna do this.
I look forward to seeing everything grow, Brandon. That's right.
I love that. We're gonna do this a little differently. Um, we're gonna, since all of us are here, except well, Sarah had to jump off. Since the team is here, Dave, I thank you for starting this with me, and I thank you for being present and just sticking by me in a lot of areas in life. And we wouldn't be Evergreen Evolution to Foundations, to the Evolution Podcast, to the Evolution Summit, or anything without you. So I thank you for everything you've created here, all the countless hours that you've stuck into this with me over the last couple of years. And now I'm going to toss it over to Melissa, and we're going to go over to the room, and big eyes. We're all going to thank Dave, and then when we get to Dinka can do her part too. So yeah. So sorry, Melissa, take yourself off mute. You got to do it.
I kind of want to echo what Dinka said. When I initially had my call with the two of you, yeah, it was like I was talking to long lost best friends. You made me feel welcome. You were one of my first experiences in school. It's like this is what I'm walking into. Like I found my people. I think in our first call, I invited you to my house. I
You
don't.
did.
You
You
I
did.
got
did. And
people.
we're already talking about camping on your property. We
Yeah.
Everything
I'm
is
yes.
the first person to say stay away. I like my privacy, but here I'm inviting you on our first call. So that really speaks loud to.
Hippies in your drunk circle, stay off my property.
He also told us she didn't really like to get on camera back then. Now she's
Ever.
been all over.
I know I'm like a bum today in a hoodie, and like I'm showing up. So yeah,
Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate it.
thank you.
Becca, you kind of started that trend because I loved your response, and thanking Dave. So I wanted to let Melissa get up there for a second too. Before I kick it over to Dinka, Melissa said something like can you remember back when we were doing our onboarding calls and we were doing all this and we're like, where are we gonna go? What are we gonna do with this? And like now here we are, like we're gonna do school in real life. So we're doing these events. We're doing all this like stuff that we kind of imagined, but now here we are. And before I kick it over to Dinka, my final little things here is we do have some things up our sleeve for podcast episodes still, a part of the summit. Dr. Melissa has not been one-on-one interviewed yet. That's coming.
Mm,
So if you're watching this
yes.
live or on recording,
Yeah.
you're the first to hear we have an unscheduled one. And Dinka and I are also going to do something special that maybe Dave will be involved in. So before we end the call, Dinka, it's your turn. The hand egg, I'm tossing over to you.
So maybe you don't know this, Dave, but at the end of each call, I do I draw a card for every speaker on this podcast from my trusted Oracle deck, and I drew one for you, and you got the Stargazer,
Oh,
and
Jesus.
it says "Set your sights higher." So I hope that resonates.
More,
This has been
more,
so
more than most people on this call.
yeah. It's been so crazy. When I think back of all the cards that everyone got on this podcast, it's so creepy. Some people I know more than others, but I feel like most of them also kind of resonated with it. So it's a little special something that I feel like it added some value to our podcast. So it's been really fun.
Thank you. Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, Brandon.
This whole journey has been absolutely amazing. Nothing but
Really
love.
has.
Nothing but love for this entire family. So thank you.
So this has been a ton of fun. How do we move forward after the Growth Summit? I've heard so many things from crazy ass Jack saying, you guys should do it every single day. No, you're nuts. Not doing that. Is there going to be an evolution 2027? I think by the time we get there next year, we'll welcome that with open arms. Where do we go next? Special events, foundations features. We got Susan Andrian doing forest bathing. We have AI clinics coming up that are going to be hosted. We have our members are the spotlight. Karen Falkenberg, your butt's going to get up there and do some fitness stuff. Like the spotlight is going to be put again still on members doing special events, doing the weekly podcast. So thank you for making this event special to every single person that's watched it, showed up, followed us, followed along, everyone on the panel. Becca, Melissa, it's fun having you guys part of this. Sarah, Dinka, we've really grown into podcast hosts in this month, and I can't wait for our weekly recordings. It's going to be fun. And as Dave brought up, to rush me, probably to get to the rest of his day, as Dave brought up,
I thought maybe you forgot.
final question. This one's a special one because we've heard now 33 times, we've heard answers to this, and you're the person that sort of made this. So, what does evolution mean to you?
Wow. You want me to encapsulate that in like a word, a sentence?
Whatever the
Word
word,
evolution?
word.
The word evolution? What does it mean to
Hey,
me?
life coach Rob did that too. It's okay.
Evolution to me means being willing to accept something that you might not truly understand, but that you understand in your heart is really where you're supposed to go. Because to me, I was delusional enough to believe that Foundations could become what it is today.
Same.
And I think evolution to me represents the ability and the willingness to be delusional enough to believe you can change and to understand and know that you can change.
Thanks, man. That was a fantastic answer. And thank you for everything from this point. Thank you for doing this. You being last was really special to me. This growth summit really started showing us what evolution is every single day. And now the podcast is going to be weekly, guys. So keep following us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Pinterest. And I still it's crazy to say that, but hey, Heather Coffin in her digital marketing themed episode said Pinterest is the year for podcasts.
Okay.
I knew it. She said 2026 is Pinterest. I seen Dinka like winking in her head. I knew I was waking up on Pinterest, and we did. So yeah, follow, subscribe, listen. If you want to give me a cooler tagline to say to make these endings smoother, give it to me. Otherwise, keep evolving, everybody, and we'll see you on the flip side.